So this is a video that I have been contemplating and saying I was going to make for some time. More than likely, anybody watching this and my subscribers are subscribed to me for one of four different things. One, you genuinely like watching my content, and I either entertain you, motivate you, or something like that. So thank you. Two, you watch me due to some, whether it be spirituality, religion, or my talks about God. Three, you're subscribed to me and have been around for a long time, back when I used to do my shit talking videos. So, or four, you're subscribed to me for this topic: drugs and drug related things such as psychedelics, such as cannabis, kratom, etc. So today we're going to go over what my overall outlook on drugs are and what my overall opinion, again, let me state this, my opinion on them are. So for anyone watching, this is your first time watching me, I'm not a lightweight when it comes to drugs in any way, shape, or form. I have pretty much, you name a drug other than heroin and crack that is not like some weird designer drug, I've done it. Or fentanyl, I've not done that either. So, name it, I've done it. Quite a bit of it in abundance. Pharmaceutical and natural. In fact, I would say there's not many people that have taken more psychedelic trips than me. Honestly. I mean, see, I can't say that because I don't know for sure, but I'll put it to you like this. I believe I've probably taken more trips in 1 year than most people will have taken in their entire lifetime. And that goes to big, big trippers or psychonauts. That's not me bragging. It caused me delusion and psychosis is what it caused me. So before I get this started, I would like to say I do not necessarily think that there is anything wrong with anything if you can handle it in moderation, if you have self-control, and depending on why you're using it. So that's one. Two, what classifies a drug? Anything that changes your natural state of being. This can be coffee, sugar, all the way up to, all the way up to heroin, fentanyl, meth, and everything in between, including prescription medication, including cannabis, including kratom, including, you name it. I used to be incredibly biased towards natural substances, such as psychedelics. And not even natural, but there's a lot of psychedelics I promoted and I still to this day think can be beneficial if used properly. I do think LSD, I think psilocybin can be, and DMT, ayahuasca, which is just a form of DMT, mescaline, all these things, if taken properly and taken for the right reasons, can help you. Now, the reason I'm not including MDMA or ketamine in the psychedelic experience is because I do not believe they are true psychedelics. DXM is another one that I have used quite a bit of, and I also do not consider that in the psychedelic experience. I do think these things can be beneficial. They can. However, and cannabis is another one. I used to be so biased towards these things that looking back at it, I get a laugh out of myself at myself for them, because of how deluded I was and how much I was kidding myself and lying to myself. Is cannabis addictive? Yeah, it is. Mentally addictive. Is cannabis a gateway drug? Yes, it is. Absolutely. It is. Does cannabis make you lazy, complacent, and take away your motivation? Yeah, absolutely it does. And that's not me knocking it or hating on it. And I'm not, and anyone that's watching this that uses it for pain or uses it for relaxation and they sparingly use it, hey, I'm not talking to you or about you. I'm not talking to or about anyone in this video. I'm just giving you my direct experience and things that I've noticed with people around me. That's all I can do. And this new cannabis is not like the same as when I was growing up. I may not look as old as I am to you guys watching. I'm 36 years old. 36. So I started smoking it when I was 14. This stuff is entirely different. This stuff will bring out some weird symptoms within yourself. It'll bring out racing thoughts. It'll bring out paranoia. And yes, you can get certain strains and know certain things about what you're taking. But if you do not think they bring on ADHD-like symptoms, if you don't think they bring out a lot of symptoms that people are saying, or they're enhancing those symptoms that people are saying they're using it to get away from. It just has become a habit and a cycle for them. I am just being honest. I'm incredibly embarrassed that I promoted a lot of this stuff. And again, I can't make it more clear. I'm not knocking it. There is use for it. It is beneficial depending on, again, why you're using it, the amount you're using, and if you have self-control, or if you can handle it. See, the problem is, with me, which is why I've been talking about balance and trying to find balance, I am more of a I'm all or nothing type of guy. I'm either all in or I'm not in. So I've spent the last few years of my life cutting these things out of it. I mean, legitimately cutting them out of it. I don't smoke cannabis anymore. I won't drink anymore. I'm working on a couple other things, including nicotine. That is a drug, by the way. It's very addictive. There's only a couple little things left I need to do, and I just got to the point to where I'm sick of it. I'm sick of doing it. I'm sick of the way it makes me feel. I'm sick of the money I'm spending on it. And that's just the truth. I do not believe that anyone should take psychedelics if they're not using. Let me put it to you like this. I believe if you're using psychedelics for fun a handful of times throughout your life, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're using them multiple times a year just for fun, you're not going to have fun. Because I took some mushrooms just for fun one time, and basically God pointed out everything that I was doing wrong in a nice, loving way. And then I took LSD for fun and asked for the truth. Went to a void. And truth be known, I don't even know if I'm still in that void. And that is how, this is what these substances can do to you. I'm just being honest about it. I have literally, name it, I've done it. I've done it in excess. I've took 100 trips in a year before. 21 days straight. Or maybe more. It was 20, 21, somewhere around there. And back in my younger days, I took DXM so much that I truly believe that may have made me have psychosis to a degree throughout periods in my life. So here are the benefits of anything if used properly. It can heal you. It can heighten some things. It can make you become more aware of some things. It can snap you out of some things. Those are the pros. The cons are, and let's be honest here, the majority of people do not use these things for the right reasons. They use them to escape reality. They use them to run from their feelings. They use them to, just because they're bored, they use them out of habit. That's why I did them. That's why everyone that I've talked to that has been brutally honest has admitted to doing them. And they all try to stop or want to stop, but it's just a cycle. And then you come to the ultimate conclusion that a lot of people do not want to hear or like to hear, because I was one of those people. They are not good for you long term. They are not good for you daily. And the majority of these things are in your head. You're giving them power and control, and I can't make that make sense to you unless you have experienced or understood some things that I have. I will give you a brief example. If you truly believe that you are ADHD, and you truly believe you need ADHD medication to function and to be yourself, then you're going to start believing that, and it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is with a lot of things, my friends. So, and here's the messed up part, is I thought cannabis was helping me relieve anxiety, helping me do a lot of things. But now that I'm off of it and I've been off of it for a while, I realized what it was doing to me. It was not helping with my anxiety. It was making it worse. It was not helping me with my overthinking. It was making it worse. It was not helping with my sleep. It was destroying my sleep. I would always wake up feeling foggy, and I think we can all agree excess of alcohol is not good. And the funny thing is, we live in a society to where you will have, and I'm not knocking or making fun of anyone, this literally happened to me. I've had this experience with someone. I was in a counseling session with this counselor that I had literally just met. I mean, it was like she was filling in for someone, and we were talking about my past substance history. And I told her everything, and she was sitting there. And again, I'm not knocking anyone. She was obese. She was eating junk food. Pulled out one of these vapes and started doing that, and had the nerve to tell me that I did not need to be taking anxiety medication because it could lead to this or that, or if one thing went wrong in my life, it could turn me back to drugs, which was hilarious. I do take a low-dose anxiety medication, which I'm slowly coming off of. I have taken this medication properly for a very long time. I would completely be lying to you, though, if I said that I used it the right way throughout. And that's just being honest. I do see benefits in pharmaceutical medication. I see benefits in natural medication. I do. But anything that alters your state of consciousness and anything that alters your baseline naturally is not good for you to take in abundance. It messes you up, and that includes sugar and coffee and nicotine. That includes, some people may not like this, but that includes you getting on your phone and scrolling. It's like we make ourselves feel bad. We make ourselves feel certain ways and then use that as a reason to do these things that we do, and then start a cycle of trying to stop them. Like, so right now, the only thing I do right now is I'm on a low dose anxiety medication. I'm on a very low dose of a mood stabilizer / depression pill, and I take ADHD medication, which I realize now I do not need, and I'm coming off that. So, but the issue is you can't force yourself or be a tyrant to yourself to come off these things. This is something that you have to realize that these things are not good for you. And if you're using these in moderation, and you're having a drink every now and again, and you're smoking every now and again, and you're taking a trip every now and again, and it's for healing purposes, or you're just celebrating something, then, I mean, I'm talking about even cocaine, even. If you can handle that every now and again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. At all. At all. Nothing. But here it is. You have to realize the consequences of these things. Like, you will get a boost, you will go up, and then more than likely you're going to take a nosedive for a little bit, depending on how much you use, or how frequently you use, or etc., or even mixing things together. So I can say this: I do not recommend drugs to anyone. I don't even recommend cannabis to anyone. They're not fun. If you know addiction runs in your family, you shouldn't touch them. And it's debatable if cannabis is better than anxiety medication. That's very debatable, because I function better on a low dose of anxiety medication than I did on a low dose of cannabis. Never thought I would say that. However, I believe the best way to do things is to... Most addicts are some of the best people I've ever met in my entire life. They're good, genuine people. They would help you out. They would do, I mean, if they were not addicted, they would be some of the most successful people in the world. I mean, that's just very honest. However, people that become addicted, it's almost the closest thing I can describe as a demon possession. Something takes over you, takes over your mind, it almost takes, I don't want to say it takes over your soul, but it takes over something. And that's all you want and think about. And you're very willing to discard and discredit everything else to get that. And the issue is the people who get addicted have there's a void within them. They either don't think they're good enough. They've had some traumatic event they're running from. They're running from their feelings. They're trying to escape something. And the more and more you become aware And the more and more you can heal that part of you, accept that part of you, and love that part of you, it's almost like you get sick of it. You get sick of doing the things. So then you can gently and lovingly put them down. You cannot shame someone into stopping that. You cannot be a tyrant to someone into stopping that. Love is the only way. Loving them and helping them realize, while trying to get them help or get them to want to get help or healed, is the only answer. There's no other answer. Turning your back on them doesn't help. Being mean to them doesn't help. It just makes it worse. Because after a certain point, your mind goes all over the place with this stuff. And especially, again, if you're not healed and you're not aware and you're not thinking properly. It makes you paranoid. It makes you think people are out to get you. It makes you think people don't love you. It makes you think insane things. And this is including psychedelics. This is a broad scope, what I'm talking about here. So just to give you a quick little story about my whole thing with drugs, which is probably what I should have started out with. Took DXM at a young age, smoked cannabis at a young age, got in a car wreck, got introduced to pain pills, and then that was pretty much it. Like, drugs consumed me on and off for years. Up until recently, I didn't realize how much I thought about them and how much they played a factor in my life. Thinking I needed something in my body to feel a certain type of way, and how much energy and attention I was giving that. It destroyed me almost. It ruined my life. It pushed people away from me. I willingly pushed people away from me because I thought they were better off without me. That's why you see me come on here sometimes, and there's a video up that probably just got uploaded about what I think the meaning and purpose of life is, and you will see me crying in that video because I pushed away my family, pushed away my wife and my children, didn't enjoy it as much as I should have. For one, because my mind was all over the place, and I was addicted. And two, because I had a lot of resentment and anger built up in me. I was not open with my feelings and emotions, and I used drugs to numb them. Then I got to a point that I thought people were better off without me, so I pushed them away. So, drugs will ruin your life. They absolutely can, and it can all start with cannabis. And again, I can't make this more clear. I'm not hating on anyone. If you're using cannabis and you're using it and you're able to function and live a normal life, and you're using it for pain or anxiety, and you've got your dosage down, and you don't have this thing in you that you're trying to feed or escape reality, then good for you. If you're taking kratom and it's helping with pain or whatever, and you're taking moderate doses, good for you. I'm not knocking you. This is just my overall experience, again, in my opinion. So, I do not think that it's like a lot of people want to put this natural or pharmaceutical thing up. Like there's a divide between the two. Like one is better for you and one's worse for you. Well, I'm telling you, as someone who's done it both, I've been benefited greatly from pharmaceuticals. And I can tell you I've benefited from natural medicine. So I don't think it should be a versus thing. I think it should be we should come together and figure out what helps people while they can work through things, because this is all this stuff is. Listen to me. And again, I'm not saying this if you have some chronic illness or you're severely whatever. I'm just saying for the normal, average, run-of-the-mill person. All these things is a band-aid to help you not feel so whatever, or to help you feel some things, to let it go and release it. That way you can return to a natural state of being. Because I'm telling you, you feel your best at a natural state of being when you're not consuming so much stuff that's artificial, or even that is natural. So, my overall opinion on drugs, again, is to stay away from them if possible. If you're a teenager watching this and you're thinking about smoking some weed or drinking some beer or alcohol at a party because your friends are doing it and you think it's fun, my best advice to you is stay away from it. You don't want to be around those people, because me, looking back at those people that I went to school with that did those things that were cool, the majority of them turned out to be people you do not want to turn out to be. Like, they destroyed their lives. And you're talking to someone who became dangerous, who, in my opinion, did destroy my life. But comparably speaking to some of these other people, it's not even that bad. So, like, you may think it's cool as a teenager or in your early 20s to do these things, but then you're going to look back a decade later and realize how much time you wasted, how much energy you wasted, how much money you wasted, and how much it impacted a lot of your relationships in life in a negative way. How much it messed with your mind and your outlook on life in a negative way. So the moral to this story is, unless you absolutely need them, stay away from them. And if you do absolutely need them, obviously take it in moderation and use it properly. If you're using it out of boredom, if you're using it to escape reality, and if you're using it daily, and it's a continuous thing, then you may want to get help. Like, legitimate help. And you may want to really question to yourself why you're taking them. And this is coming from someone, again, who has defended these. Some of my most popular videos are about drugs. Very true. Look on my channel. Click on my channel, go to popular videos. DMT trips, LSD trips, mushroom trips, kratom videos, cannabis videos, cart reviews. So, I'm going to sum it up like this, and I'm going to end it like this. And this is not a personal attack towards anyone. I would love your guys' opinion on this, because again, I'm not targeting anyone. I'm just saying, again, there's a difference in using it properly in moderation and abusing it and becoming addicted and letting it control your life. The biggest issue I've noticed with myself and other people is the mental energy that it takes from you, because your life runs around it because you think you need it. And because you think you need it, you're almost bringing upon these symptoms to get it. What you think, what you speak, and what you believe has a lot to do with how reality goes. Now, there's a safety net here. And that is thanks to a loving God. But, yeah. This is coming from someone that can look back throughout my life and realize how I've thought, said, and brought upon a lot of things myself. And this is coming from someone who, and I'm going to end up with this. The way that I did, and this is paradoxical. Life is a paradox. Psychedelics is what led me to realize this. Call it what you will. I was an atheist. I started believing in God due to psychedelics. And then I abused them. And I got smacked in the face for doing it. To the point that I am almost afraid to do them now. So, but let me put it to you like this. If it was not for God, and it was not for the guidance I have been given through Christ and God, and the love and mercy and grace and forgiveness, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be here telling you these things. I wouldn't have made it this far. I would have overdosed, or I would have been in jail, or I would have completely ruined my life, or I would have committed self-deletion. So, there is a way out if you're watching this and you are addicted. And even if you're watching this and you don't think you are, maybe this will help you realize some things. But if you are, there's a way out. And that is through God. That is through love. That is through healing yourself. That is through learning to love yourself, to talk and think properly about yourself. That is through acceptance and forgiveness of yourself. That is through figuring out why you're trying to escape reality and why you're running from feelings. I can admit I have done a lot of things that I wish I wouldn't have and I regret doing. But I can take ownership of that and not make any excuses for it. And like I said, there's a couple little things I'm trying to tighten up and fix, this being one of them. I'd like to come off my anxiety medication, my ADHD medication, and then eventually, hopefully, that mood stabilizer. But if that's something I need to take, then it is what it is. All I know is I'm sick of putting things into my body that makes me feel bad, feel foggy, wake up the next day and feel like complete and utter crap, just to feel like I need to put those things back into my body to feel normal, to then repeat what I would like to call Groundhog's Day. It took me a long time to get to this point. And it's something that's why I come on here and make these videos. I like to motivate people. I like to inspire people. I like to help people. I like to see people win and succeed. I like to see people overcome things. I would love to bring heaven on earth here. And the way to bring heaven on earth here is, paradoxically enough, is through the individual. Through the individual must change and then unite. So that's why I believe God's working on everyone individually. I know He's been working on me. And I've got a lot of grace and a lot of mercy and a lot of forgiveness from Him. or from God. I don't want to put a gender upon it. There's this song by Kane Brown. It's called One Thing Right. And another song by Kane Brown, ironically enough, it's like, thank God I found you, or thank God for you, or something like that. And especially that One Thing Right, it reminds me of myself so much, because it was hard for me to see a lot of people throughout my life has complimented me on my ability to communicate, to speak, my intelligence, my understanding of things, how quick I can pick things up, how, and if you want to go on an ego level, how like my looks and my personality and all this, my charisma, and I didn't see it in myself. I didn't believe it almost, and it made me look at myself in a messed up way, and in a messed up lot. So I have done a lot of good things, and I have got a lot of things right. I have fucked a lot of things up, got a lot of things wrong now, but the one thing that I got right, and that song, it's hard for me to even listen to, because it's basically sounds just like my entire life. Mama had herself a devilish child, and I've cheated and I've lied, I've just go listen to the song, but it says I got one thing right, and it was you. It's you. And I don't know if this person watches my videos anymore or not, but the one thing I did have right was my wife. She stood by my side through a lot. She put up with a lot for me. She was not perfect. Nobody is. But she was the one thing I had right. And my children, and it's been over a year now since I've had them permanently in my life, and I am fucking miserable. Part of me doesn't know whether to hold on to it or let go. I don't want to say apart. I don't know whether to hold on to it or let go. Because she's worth fighting for. She's worth waiting on. And she's had a lot to do with a lot of my decisions, even recently. She's had her and those children, and I've done it for myself. For myself, for those kids and her, I have made tremendous amount of changes in a short period of time. And it's almost like every time I just try to convince myself to let it go and to move on, I start seeing her numbers. Her numbers are 312. And it doesn't matter the order, the numbers just present themselves, as long as the numbers are there. 312 is her number. I see 312, 213, 123, and I used to call her Banana. Amanda Banana. Every time I think I've let it go, or I need to, I constantly see and hear bananas, or hear about a banana, or I constantly see those numbers, and it signifies to me that just to have faith and trust that this is all going to work out, and I don't know or care. Well, I do care. And I do know we've been separated for over a year, or divorced officially for over a year, and it doesn't matter to me what has happened during that time. I would accept her back in a moment without hesitation. And accept her for exactly how she is and who she is. Because I love her. She's my person. And I'm not leaving this fucking place without her. I don't mean that like that. I don't know what I mean by that even. I just know that I didn't believe in this twin flame shit. And I didn't believe in this like one soul and shit. But me and her are so deeply connected that I just realized how much I was lying to myself. And how much of a mask I'd put up. And how much armor I'd put on. And how much I'd let my ego take over to think that I convinced myself I didn't need her. Or I was better without her. Just so I wouldn't feel the things that I felt recently. And it's not looking good. I've always said it doesn't matter how close it gets, we pull it out, but we're cutting it pretty fucking close. And it is not looking good, and it's not looking at all good in my favor. But something just tells me to focus on myself, keep being the person I know I am, and to tighten a couple little things up. And I'll get my life back. My life. L-I-F-E, my life back. And that includes her and my children. I had every freaking thing I wanted from the beginning and didn't realize it, didn't appreciate it, and didn't understand it. And it took losing it all to really appreciate it and understand it. And I guess that's another paradox of life. I would do anything and give anything to get a redo at that with her, with those kids. I just trust that God has a plan and God knows what He's doing, knows what it's doing, and everything will work out. And that's all I'm going to say. This is a 45-minute video. If you've watched all 45 minutes of this, thank you. If you've watched all 45 minutes of this, drop a comment down below that you made it. The keyword is banana. Say banana. I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. I've made a lot of good friends on doing this. I've made a lot of good friends and met a lot of good people doing this, and I'm grateful for that. And I love you guys.